I feel like I missed out last year, so
I mean, obviously. Oh, you mean like you want to like FaceTime me and taunt me from the
no,
party?
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. I'm just saying, let's get this
like
on.
right now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, we
Yeah.
won't taunt you.
Okay.
We
I
may
mean,
FaceTime you. But,
obviously it's not the West Coast, but I mean, I'm right next to the Rocky Mountains, so like the Rocky Mountains and further west is like pretty far west in the grand scheme of the
You're not even
contiguous
Pacific.
United States.
You're not even Pacific time.
But I'm Mountain Time.
So?
I'm 2 hours fucking behind you guys. It's a
Oh.
big difference.
well, so he's gonna miss. We're opening a special edition New Year's Eve edition Magnum Stout from other half,
Oh, well, I don't care about that. It's probably way too sweet for me.
and it's one of a kind though. They only sold like 70 of them in Philly.
Oh, all
It's
right. Well, I
giant.
would have enjoyed tasting it just to have done it.
It's got all this stuff in it. All of the
So,
stuff.
all this stuff.
All the stuff is in it.
All the stuff.
We've Sam and I for some reason nicknamed it Bruce. I don't know why, but we've been calling it Bruce, and he's been living in our fridge for a year and a half now, and so he's gonna meet his glorious end this weekend.
So wait. So give us an example of some of the stuff that is all of the stuff
Oh,
that's in
I
it.
gotta look it up.
Okay. Just give us like 3 or 4 or 5 or something of the things just to give us an idea here. I'm curious. But the real question though, Matt, while you're looking that up, the real question for you guys is at the party, who's gonna play my role? You need somebody to be playing beer pong and screaming like obscenities. Is somebody gonna take that on? Do you got somebody in your circle who can handle that? It's a big responsibility.
It is.
And then you get Aunt Mo to come out and be like, Ethan. But she's really just like laughing, even though you said horrible things. It's a classic Memorial Day tradition.
I mean, I don't know if we'll even get to beer pong. It might be just kind of chill.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
We'll see.
You didn't. What's taking you so long over there?
Because I don't know. I can't remember the name.
Well, that's because you're just thinking of Bruce, huh? You're looking up on Untapped. You're like other half Bruce.
I actually just Googled it. Maybe I can find the online receipt. My email for all.
Oh, no biggie. In the meantime, let's talk about what we're having tonight. Colin, what do you got? I know you toasted me. I didn't look at it yet.
Oh, on Untapped.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? It's called Moon Babies. This is another upstate New York from when I was in April there. This is Rochester Fifth Frame Brewing. Rudy.
Oh, cool.
I don't know.
Never heard of him, but
I don't think you've ever checked it in, but look at, I'm even drinking out of a glass.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is actually a wine glass from my grandma Nook.
Oh, nice.
This is like one of the keepsakes that I've had, and I just really love it. And I don't really drink wine anymore. I mean, I never really drank wine, and I was like, I want to use the glass, so I'm gonna put my beer in it.
Yeah, that's perfect. And what did you say? What kind of beer it is? Is it just a hazy or a milkshake or something?
It's a trip, but it definitely tastes hazy.
Yeah.
There's like a oh wow, it's a 9.0.
Oh, yeah.
There's a melony flavor to it that is really interesting, like in a good way.
Yeah, nice.
Very, very good. I mean, it's kind of got a fruity flavor overall, but the melon, I was like, I don't know if I've ever tasted anything like that before. It was interesting. So it was one of, again, when I went to that bottle shop in West Jenny or wherever it was, I looked up everything, and everything I bought was rated 4 or above, and so far everything I've had, I've been in agreement. They've been really good.
Nice.
I'll have to check them out too. Fifth Frame, you said?
Fifth Frame, yep.
I wonder if they existed when Rochester. I still lived there, or if they're new. I don't remember hearing about them, but also like nobody in my circles was really like frequenting breweries.
Yeah, and you know what? This well, so it says Fifth Frame, on the back here. Is Third Moon like a sister company or something? Maybe, Matt? I don't know if you know.
I'll look it up in a second. I did find
you found
find the beer, yeah. So it's the new.
Yeah, because I don't know if you can see it. It has Third Moon.
It could be a
right there.
collaboration. It could be two.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But like when I looked it up on Untapped, it only showed up with Fifth Frame. Or I didn't look at it hard enough. I'll look at that while you talk about yours.
It's the 2022 New Year's Eve Imperial Stout, aged a year and a half in Buffalo Trace barrels with Magic Bar cookies, which are coconut, graham cracker, marshmallow, pecan, and chocolate chips.
Oh, wow. Okay. It does have a lot of stuff.
Could be good. Wow. And then I looked up, I forgot, last year my beer friends in the Philly area had a toast to my recovery on Memorial Day last year, and they drank that same beer. So,
okay,
they get together
cool.
and have a big Memorial Day beer share in Reading, PA, and they said, "Hey, toasting Matt's recovery and sending positive vibes." So I'll make sure to toast them back this year.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
This is a collab. It's in Milton, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Crossing over the border.
Yeah. It's a very highly rated brewery, 4.15.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan, let me guess.
567.2 miles away.
What'd you say, Matt?
Weldworks? You drinking Weldworks?
Yeah. How did you know? Did you see a bit of my can?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Matt, it's uncanny how good you are. No pun intended.
It's uncanny. Yeah, so we had some friends over a few days ago for a dinner, and so I got some beers just in case anybody wanted any, and nobody ended up having any beer. But I figured like a good safe bet is just Juicy Bits, for just like a nice beer to have around for guests, and so now I'm just drinking them and actually my partner likes these too, so nothing too special. Although I shouldn't take beers like Juicy Bits for granted, because like a few years ago, it probably would have been like a real treat for me. So I shouldn't just be like, oh, it's just Juicy Bits. No, Juicy Bits is like very good.
It's good shit. It's a good daily drinker if you can swing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
well,
you got yeah. What do you got?
I switched it up a little bit tonight. I've got a special farmhouse beer from a place in Pittsburgh called the Brew Gentleman. Pretty cool place in the Steel City. This is called the Reserve Blend for their Mise and Rose collection, which is their sour series, their wild beers. This is from February of 2019.
So, Matt, when you say farmhouse beer in this case, does that mean, are we talking like similar to Casey kind of beers?
Yeah, it's a wild ale. It's
nice.
Open fermented. It's going to have some funk. This is actually like really, really nice. It's really, really good. Like, it's not too sour at all. It's really good and fun to drink.
Yeah. What'd you give it?
Oh, this is going to be 4.75.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, this is good. This is really good.
Nice.
5 years did this beer well too, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What's the name of the brewery again in Pittsburgh? The
Brew Gentleman.
The Brew Gentleman. Okay.
So they're pretty cool. I can't remember there's a backstory behind the guy who found them, I think. So, they're from Braddock, PA, which is where John Fetterman's from.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a working class type brewery, but they make they're like flagship IPAs called General Braddock. It's really, really good. Just a solid, everything they brew is pretty tasty. So, only been there once, but I really like them, and I've been lucky enough that my Pittsburgh friends have kept the solids or a constant stream to me, and they ship within the state of Pennsylvania. So, if nice. I can't get it at my local shop, like this was a special one, this was given to me, but if I can't get it at my local shop, they'll ship it to me. So, yeah, solid place. Really like them. Wish I got their stuff more, but there's plenty of stuff like that. Now, I will say I have a special surprise for you in the works, Ethan, when you close on the house.
Oh.
So for you and your partner.
Okay, very exciting.
So it's all I'll say is it's American farmhouse farmhouse beers.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah, that'll be the perfect way for us to christen the new home. I'm excited now. That's awesome.
And Colin, of course, I'm bringing some stuff down for you guys too this weekend. So.
I've got some Charlotte stuff that we can exchange if you want.
Oh man, I'm jealous. Hey.
You can still get a plane ticket.
Yeah, Frontier's got cheap flights from Denver to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. For next year, I think maybe I'll try to next year. With this year with the house, it just was not feasible. But
I mean, also means you have to fly Frontier. So
yeah, but we have, we've actually flown Frontier a couple times because Denver is a hub or maybe the hub. Because I think actually it was maybe started here, Frontier. And if you're flying for just like a couple of days and you are able to fly like in a very minimalist way, it actually works all right. In our experience, at least, it's been pretty good.
I've had
We flew
success with
Frontier
them
to Philly.
if I find they're like $19 seats and then buy the upgrade for extra room. Most of the time, it's less expensive by a long shot than what I would have paid on any other airline still.
Yeah.
And so it's worth it. Like, okay, I'll buy seats for $19 and I'll pay an extra $100 or $80 for the leg room, and it's still $100 each way, and not too bad.
Yeah.
But I've had success. I used to take them all the way or out to Denver for the Great American Beer Fest.
Oh, right.
Back
that
in the
makes
day.
Sense.
Yo,
Yeah.
Ethan, speaking of that just triggered memory. I just saw earlier today Trampled is having a like a contest, like a cover contest.
I just saw that
for their Red Rock show
Yeah.
on July 11th. And I don't know, I think your brother should maybe put Brother Jeremy sign
shit!
up.
I didn't even think about that.
That would actually be really cool. What would be, I don't know if they would have enough time, but Jeremy, if you're listening, well, he will listen. He'll listen to this tomorrow when it comes out, I think.
Jeremy, is that something like, would you have to just record it in the garage or in the studio? Can I pay for your studio time? Like, seriously.
Right? Well, there you go. There's an offer.
Yeah,
what I was going to say is
how much
that
is studio time?
It can be really expensive, so maybe be careful with your offer.
Can I not supplement? What's the word?
Subsidize
some studio time.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully it shouldn't be the quality of the video per se as much as like like recruiting videos for college or high school to college athletes and everything. It's just like as long as you can see it on tape, like as long as you can hear it. But yeah, anyway, the contest, before you get into your stuff, Ethan, about it, is they actually get to come on stage with Trampled during the show.
I know.
I don't know if I said that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know if you said that. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll be at that show.
I figured.
Yeah. And so it would be interesting. So Jeremy and I are obviously both, massive diehards, and they're my favorite of all time, and they're up there for Jeremy. So we both love their old stuff. We like, people talk about like deep cuts and everything, right? So like Trampled's first two albums, we love their first two albums like as much as anything they've done. And there are a couple songs that they will still play live from those albums. But what I was thinking about is there's a couple songs from those first two albums that really like rock hard, right? So Trampled has this influence kind of like from punk and metal. And so they have a few songs spread throughout their discography that like it's on acoustic instruments, but like they rock the shit out of it, right? And so like Jeremy's metal band, Voices in Vain, like they could do like straight up metal versions of some of those songs that would be fucking amazing. I don't know if they have enough time to do it because they're all kind of spread out and stuff, like geographically, Jeremy and his bandmates. But like, for instance, there's a song called Burn for Free that's like my favorite of all time, or Codeine, which is like a really, really popular one among the fans. Both of those like rock really hard.
Yeah.
And Jeremy and I have talked in the past about like, if you actually did like a straight up full metal version with like electric guitars and drum set and everything, like those songs would be sweet in that context.
I think Codeine was the second and Burn for Free was the third song you had me listen to get me hooked.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I said those definitely would be good. I also think, not that this is like a Trample by Turtle fan podcast now, but like, like the main melody of Repetition could be turned into a pretty awesome guitar riff.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and Jeremy loves that song. That's one of the ones I'm more lukewarm on, but he loves that. You like Repetition?
I really like that song too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah,
Jeremy,
that could be really
the
cool.
offer stands. It just depends on how much, but the offer stands.
Some subsidizing. Hey, anything would help. But
hey, I support the arts.
You do. You're a fucking philanthropist over here.
If you don't want to call it a subsidy, call it a commission. I'll commission you for a cover.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's amazing they're doing that. I was shocked. I saw that just a little while ago before we got on. And that's like, I mean, they do really cool shit at Red Rocks every year. Was it like last year or the year before they had a bunch of like extended family members come out and like do songs with them and stuff like
last year?
Last year. It was okay. Like they always
2 years ago, Dave had his daughter come out.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah. And so now to do this, like, I mean, it's amazing. They're doing something to make every Red Rocks show like really special. My first Red Rocks show, this is in 2019. They had one of their producers from one of their early albums come out. Matt, were you at that? No, that was Jeremy.
No, but Shenandoah, right?
Shenandoah, which was the song that originally hooked me on them. And they had their producer come out and sing it with them. And it like, if I was a crier, I would have been bawling. But I'm not in touch with my emotions. So I was still like the happiest moment of my life. But yeah, so they're always doing shit with Red Rocks and it's just amazing experiences. So I'm really excited to see the submissions for this contest.
Yeah. I bet you they'll get good ones. I mean, Red Rocks is just so fucking cool too. Like,
amazing place. Yeah.
I wish I had known sooner that you could just like bring sandwiches in. Like that was also really cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a nice little hack for seeing shows.
Your uncle just sits down and opens up a backpack full of tasty goodness.
Yep. Yeah, he's an experienced Red Rocks goer. I mean, God, I don't know how many times he's been there at this point. Dozens, I'm sure.
I got to remember that I'm still on their list for notifications for new shows. I got to remember that and just like call you some of these times.
Yeah.
Because the first, I mean, I saw Trampled there with you, and just because my brother and I wanted to see a show there, we saw Royal Blood and Queens of the Stone Age there.
Queens of the Stone Age, I remember that.
Like,
yeah.
And I just remember we pretty much like walked up. We were so close to side stage for the encore just because we were like, let's see how close we can get. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like they're right there. Like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's cool.
I think that Queens of the Stone Age concert is on YouTube. I think I've seen that one and Bad Company.
Bad Company,
like 2017. Yeah.
Wow, they were still touring as of 2017?
Yeah.
Some iteration of them, yeah.
Some iteration, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because when we were getting, like last summer, like before, I was just watching a bunch of shows from Red Rocks, just getting pumped up for the atmosphere and everything, and the Queens of Stone Age. I'm pretty sure I found a show from there too, and that was really good.
There's a lot of good ones, like the Moody Blues, one of their most famous albums. They did a live album from Red Rocks. John Tesh, you can look up him doing the Round Ball Rock story at Red Rocks, which is goofy but also kind of fun to watch. So, and then for all the listeners out there, if you watch that John Tesh Round Ball Rock at Red Rocks clip, then immediately go and watch the Jason Sudeikis SNL Round Ball Rock skit. Because it's freaking hilarious. So,
nice.
I don't want to spoil it, but I want to spoil it.
So, what do we got? Do we have anything specific on the docket for tonight?
I got nothing.
Shoot the shit. Talk baseball. Talk other sports. I mean, anything happening on the other sports. Scotty Scheffler getting arrested by Louisville PD on his way into.
Yeah, that was interesting. What is it, like the Masters or something, or the PGA Championship?
PGA Championship at Valhalla.
Yeah,
which I mean, there's so many jokes I really want to make that are just. I mean, Louisville PD is already a joke because of the whole Breonna Taylor thing, but yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty wild. And then so Caitlin Clark has not had a great start necessarily to her WNBA career. I mean, she's doing fine, but she's not dominating, obviously, because Division One college sports is really different than professional sports. And what has been bumming me out, and I know you see this all the time with various famous athletes, but like I'll see posts online from like ESPN or whoever, whatever big sports pages, and like, I break the rule sometimes of looking at comment sections, and I never should. But there are people who are like gloating, who are like enjoying the fact that she's like struggling or whatever. And it's like, what kind of like miserable prick do you have to be to be doing that? Like, it's just, and she probably is getting it even more, just because it's like the WNBA, and I think a lot of people want it to just be a laughing stock or whatever. But she's like really depressing to see that shit. And it's like literally she's 22. She like it's May 22nd. She just fucking graduated college like 2 weeks ago or something. You know what I mean? Like it's really a bummer to see that. And of course she's gonna figure it out and she's gonna be great and it's gonna be fine, But like you see that kind of stuff and it's I don't know. It's a little bit discouraging, demoralizing. I don't know. It's just a bummer to see that shit.
I try and compare it, and I don't remember completely, but like when LeBron started, right? And I know LeBron had some splashier first games.
I was literally thinking that, Matt.
But he had a world's, the weight of the world's criticism on him too.
Yep.
He was good his first couple years. He didn't dominate the league his first couple years. That really took him until he was a man instead of just a teenager.
I know, literally 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So yeah, basically, I only read a headline because I did see that there's been a lot of criticism, and it's like it basically said, "Relax, everyone. Caitlin Clark is going to need as many games as she needs to get used to the WNBA. She still is most likely going to be one of the best players of all time. Like, relax, everyone."
Yeah, for sure.
And good for her, that Wilson basketball deal, by the way. First person to have a basketball deal since Michael Jordan. Good for her.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't see that. That's very cool.
Supplement that starting salary of $76,000 with as many freaking endorsements as you can get, girl.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my god.
Yeah, she's doing well with the endorsements. Yeah. That's for sure. But I mean,
I hate like people who are acting outraged, like that this is brand new. Like, no, it's not. Like, just look at any Olympian.
Yeah.
Look at any pro soccer player aside from like the top stars of the MLS. Like, right, go down to the mid-range MLS or UFL or National Women's Soccer League type player. Like, they're making, I'm guessing $40,000 to $50,000 a year, right? Like they have to do these kind of things. They have to hustle. They have to work. Remember, Home Depot prided themselves for years and years and years with Olympians. Like, we give Olympians jobs. Well, yeah, because they have to fucking work at Home Depot because they don't get paid that much. So, and if they do win a medal, they got to pay taxes on that too. Do your taxes. See the line. There is a line for Olympic medal winnings. You have to pay tax on that shit.
Oh my god! I didn't know that. Holy shit!
So
we live in the darkest timeline. If there are any Community fans out there, we live in the darkest timeline.
I mean, hopefully, again, if we're looking at all the attention Caitlin Clark's getting, hopefully, maybe some of the attention can bring positive change to these things. But it's no, Apollo Anton Ono doesn't want to have to sell you lumber. No, I don't think. I mean, he was one of the ones that probably was well off enough with his endorsements, but still, like. You get my point, right? Like, their job is training. It sucks, and right, like sub out Olympian and sub in musician, right? Ethan, you know that life too, right? Like the value we place versus the adulation we place on your profession, these like musicians are great. Look at they've spent years and years and years honing their skills, and we're going to pay you $37,000.
Yeah, I mean, I've come to
peace with it. By the way, I pulled that number out of nowhere. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Ethan, don't say if it is or not.
No, that's accurate for a lot of like smaller symphonies, like full time, even a full time job, like for a smaller orchestra. That's real. It might be a little higher now, with inflation. 2024, there maybe aren't too many whose full time starting salaries are in the 30s. They might be in the low 40s now, but that's not far off. And I mean, for me, like I've come to peace with it, in a certain sense, because like the market is what the market is, like orchestras. It's a niche genre. I mean, this is not a mainstream genre. It's only orchestras are only going to be bringing in so much revenue every year. Like, there's plenty of money to be made in music if you are doing stuff that is more mainstream, that has a wider appeal, blah blah blah. So like I kind of understand that. The only thing that bums me out about it is just that, like, it seems to me that it's a little bit of an exception when we think of various professions, when we think of various fields. The people who are the most skilled in their field get paid the most. And in music, that's not necessarily the case. And so what I mean by that is, like, I mean, I don't want to disparage anyone, because I don't disrespect any styles of music or any people, right? But like, there's a difference between top-notch, like, say, classical and jazz musicians, or like studio musicians in Los Angeles or New York City or something. There's a difference between the level of ability that those musicians have and the level of ability of, say, your run-of-the-mill pop musician.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I've got a comparison here that I think, for listeners of the podcast, won't upset anyone. I have no problem disparaging one of these two people. I'll let you guess who it is. Like, based on talent and career and breadth of work, Yo-Yo Ma should make more than fucking Kid Rock. But guess what? He doesn't. And this is like, Kid Rock has enough money that he can paint a fucking Tesla like the General Lee and ride into a show on the back of it. I really hope it broke down and like ruined a show, or he fell off the back of it. But, it only got
is that
hurt,
a thing?
not
That's
Maine.
funny.
Oh yeah, it just happened.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And I think I may have expressed adulation for Kid Rock on the show before, when we talked about ticketing practices. But in terms of, like, his ticketing practices in business sense are fair and progressive and good. His music level is pretty not great.
Right.
He's successful, good for him, but not the level of musician that someone like Yo-Yo Ma is.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And the thing I try to remember is that, like, I'm kind of speaking of sort of like technical skill and knowledge in this sense. So, like, because I don't want it. So even from somebody like Kid Rock, dude is successful because he made music that is is resonant and relates. It relates to people, millions of people. They hear his songs and they relate to it and they connect to it and they love it. And that is what music is about, in my opinion. So, like, in that sense, that skill, if you want to call that a skill, okay, then, like, that's amazing. But yeah, when you think of somebody like Yo-Yo Ma or Itzhak Perlman or whatever, and we're talking about, like, the greatest, some of the greatest soloists of all time. It is interesting. It is interesting to consider, like, the financial realities. I mean, those guys are both rich. Like, they've done very, very well. Yo-Yo Ma and Itzhak Perlman. But, like, you're right. I mean, compared to somebody like Kid Rock, or let alone people like Bruce Springsteen or Taylor Swift or whoever, I mean, it's a huge difference. So it's an interesting thing.
But we can probably coin, like, an economic term called, like, the popularity premium or something. Like, there's probably some factor out there, right? Like, where it breaks the model for, compensation for skill. There's a popularity premium there too. So
right.
And again, that's not saying that Taylor Swift isn't a talented musician, or Bruce isn't a talent. Like, Bruce puts on shows that people love, that people will see 22 times. Colin, what is it? 27?
Yeah, where are you at now, Kyle?
12, 13.
Shows that people see a dozen times.
All right, so I'm tied with you on Trampled. I was wondering. I'm about there for Trampled. I was going to say, I got to overtake you. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're in the 30s.
Oh, is that how many times for Electric Six?
Yeah.
Electric,
Which I shouldn't be proud of. I really should.
No, you should. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys some details about my next Electric Six show after the show today. So
okay, sweet.
But yeah, like, they're still talented, but they are not the most talented, and it's interesting to see that, right? Now, credit to, like, Bruce and Taylor, like, they do a lot of their own writing and composition too.
Yeah, of course, right.
Whereas, so they at least aren't as much entrenched in the music as a business side of things. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna veer back off, and I'm gonna say that it's this giant fucking beer That's 6.5%.
Yeah, you're feeling it now. Nice.
It's loosening my tongue.
Loosening it. Well, how about Volpe just made a gorgeous bare hand play.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, really nice play.
Remember when they said he wasn't going to be a good defensive shortstop?
Yeah, and crazy.
He can get better. He's great.
He can get better. Yeah. But by one of the big, I mean, he won the Gold Glove obviously last year. But like,
how many did Jeter win? And like, you guys can make your like complaints there.
Jeter is the worst defensive player of all time.
How many Gold Gloves did he win?
Yeah, because sports writers are fucking dumb, and
exactly. That's what I'm saying is I don't.
That's what you're saying.
I don't put value in the Gold Glove. Like he won the Gold Glove, so yeah, Jeter did too. Whatever.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, but Volpe did rate well by like the advanced defensive metrics. I don't know if he led.
Is pretty good, right? Like his zone rating is like
I don't think he actually. So like the two biggest ones that I read about that I think are still kind of that a lot of people look at are defensive runs saved, which you can see through the Fielding Bible, and outs above average, which you can see through StatCast, Baseball Savant. And those are the two biggest ones that I see usually. And I don't think Volpe led the league in either of those, but he was good in both. Mm-hmm. And I think he was just like kind of good across the board, and he ended up winning it. I don't know if he actually deserved it. There might have been an AL shortstop who was better in at least one of those categories. But one of the things that's weird, and I think we talked about this on a pod in the past, because I had done some digging on this, and like there are some times where guys will be like amazing in one but bad in the other in the same season. So I'm like really confused because I feel like we have the technology now to be more consistent in our defensive assessment. So like if we want to say defensive runs saved and outs above average are like two of the best ways to assess a person's defense, it seems very strange to me that you could have somebody lead the league in one and be like below average in the other. And maybe I'm just being narrow-minded and ignorant or something, but it seems really weird to me. I like what are those things measuring that are so different that can happen? You know what I mean? So like the defensive thing, when we talk about people's defense, it still seems like we have some kinks to work out a little bit, especially like with catching. I think we're still kind of figuring out, like, is it just pitch framing? Like what's the best way to really account for a catcher's defensive value? I think it
won't be in 2 years when the robots are there.
When the robot umps. I know. Yeah. And that shit needs to happen. I mean, we're fucking overdue. Did you guys see I think it was for Paul Skeens for his amazing start he just had against the Cubs where he threw 6 no-hit innings with 11 strikeouts?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the ump missed, what did he have, like an 84.8% accuracy, which was like the lowest of the year, or like well below average, something. It was bad. And now granted, maybe it's because Skeens' stuff is like so filthy, I don't know. But like I've been following now on Instagram. I just started following, I think it's like called Umpire Auditor or something like that.
Yeah. Umpire Scorecard.
Yeah. And like, man, there's some egregious shit happening all the time. And it's like, listen, when we were kids in the 90s, in the early 2000s and stuff, it was just part of the game, right? Like, it is what it is. And you accept that. Like, umpires are going to have different strike zones, and it's quote unquote part of the charm of the game, right?
Regular strike zone?
The leagues
pragmatic strike zone.
Yeah. Pragmatic strike zone, right? What'd you say, Kyle?
I said the leagues had different strike zones. Like
the
American League had one, the National League had a different one. Like it was wild.
But also, credit to like you'd hear, and it's still done today. But you'd hear back in the day, like Maddox or Clemens kept a book with every umpire and
did they
would call, right? Yeah, then they would study the umps and say like,
just
this
like you would a hitter or a pitcher.
Like this guy gives me the corner, then fuck yeah, Maddox is going to throw his sinker on the corner.
Yeah.
Like every time. Why wouldn't he?
Of course.
And I mean the umpires today still have tendencies, but they're not quite as crazy as maybe they would.
Yeah, like
back.
the tendencies are Angel Hernandez and Hunter Wendelstedt and CB Buckner are fucking awful and should be demoted.
Say
those
CB Buckner,
Those are the tendency. No, but like the thing is that now, it's one thing, like it used to be part of the charm, quote unquote, right? Like I was saying, but like now everyone can see it. Literally, always. We can see it on every fucking pitch. And so there's just no excuse anymore. Like, it's just crazy.
So have you seen some of the minor leagues where they've gone to the challenge system?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I really, really hope they avoid that and just go to robotic umps completely. So Ethan, basically the mechanics are you get like 3 per game, I think, and either the catcher or the batter can initiate it, and all you do is you tap your head. You tap your head, and that means I challenge that call, and then the ump steps aside, and they look up, and then they'll get a green or a red, yes or no, ball or strike, and you go right back into the game. And usually it takes 5 to 10 seconds. It's very quick.
Yeah.
If I guess, and you get 3 challenges, meaning you get 3 losses. So, like, if you challenge 7 strikes and you're right every time, you keep all your challenges. And in some of the AAA games they were testing it out on, like I think they were doing it on like Saturdays and international league games, something weird. Like on Saturdays we test out the system, but they had graphics like the shot tracker in tennis. You guys ever see that?
Maybe.
The what?
Oh, come on, the tennis shot tracker.
I mean, I've watched some tennis, so I probably have seen it.
It's like the coolest thing. It just shows the line and it shows where the ball hits, and it'll give you like, yes, that was 3% on the line.
It should be what they should have for the goal line in football, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they could do that easily. Same with soccer. Yeah. They could do that easily in soccer
instead of using a fucking pylon.
Yeah.
But it'll give you that, like, yes, this caught 0.2 of a square inch of the zone strike. It is a strike. Pretty cool.
Yeah. That is cool. I agree, though, that I would prefer they go straight to the robotic ump, because even if it's quick, even if it only takes 5 to 10 seconds, number one, there's usually more than 3 like egregiously missed calls per game. So if they're only allowed 3, that's like kind of annoying. But also, like, it would be an annoying interruption. Even if it is really quick, it would still be annoying. Just bypass that. Just fucking skip over that step.
Go to the robot zone. Leave an umpire there for close calls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you still need the ump for the plays at the plate and everything. And to check on box and stuff.
And the umpire still makes the call. He gets the signal like in his ear or whatever, and he has to say, "Okay, strike," whatever. It's just, it's not on instinct. It's on you. You have to listen for it now. And everything. So it's like they still have a job to do.
Yeah.
Like they're still communicating.
Yep.
It's just a different way of communicating, a more accurate way of communicating.
Exactly. And it's time. Yeah. It's just it's time to do it. We have the ability, and there's just no reason to be tolerating these like shit calls that we are seeing all the time. There's just, we don't need to do that anymore.
Well, we shouldn't know names like Stevie Buckner.
Yeah.
We shouldn't know names like Hunter Wendelstedt. Actually, I did see, and I wish I saw her handle so I could give her credit, but it was a lady on a TikTok, or not an Instagram reel, whatever, one of the movie things in the social medias, and she was like, "Ladies, if you're in an argument with your man about something and he won't back down, but that he's wrong, and he's a baseball fan, this will cut him deeper than anything you ever." And she said, "I just used it on my boyfriend the other day. He thought he did the dishes perfectly, and I told him he was the Angel Hernandez of doing the dishes." And she said, and that cut him deeper than anything I could have ever said to him ever.
Oh my God. Fucking genius.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oh my God.
That would stop me in my tracks. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, if my partner, if she said that to me about like anything, about any various tasks, oh yeah, I would just immediately be like, all right, I'm just going to go kill myself. Like,
like
that's it.
Like, you could not have said anything more hurtful. I'm sorry.
Oh man, so good.
That's amazing.
Now, she did warn. She said, only if they're digging in when they're absolutely wrong. Like, then.
Yeah, you can't use it too freely, right? You can't abuse that power.
There is strength to that statement. So
yeah.
Wasn't Angel the? Oh no, I'm thinking of something different. I was thinking of when CeCe. I think CeCe does hate him, but I was thinking of when he hit that Ray batter. He was like, "That's for you, bitch." Or something.
Oh yes, yeah, that was against the Rays. Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite baseball clips of all time. Yeah, because you can see him. They have the camera on him, and he's like pointing at the Rays dugout and like staring at them. "That's for you, bitch." Oh my God. He's one of my all-timers, I think, at this point. And certainly when we talk about like our favorite Yankees from like our lifetimes when we were actually alive and watching, he's definitely up there for me. And what I was going to say, Colin, you briefly mentioned it. Soto just hit another home run. And I mean, Soto was already there for me. He's already on the Mount Rushmore of Yankee players in my lifetime, let alone all time. We need to sign him.
He's played like 25 games.
Doesn't matter. It's enough. It's enough. And he's my birthday buddy. Whatever he needs, fucking 15 years and 700 million, whatever he needs, the Yankees better fucking make it happen.
So actually, I'm glad you segued to this. I was listening to Baseball Barbacast, the Jewish boys, Jake and Jordan, and they were talking. First time I've really thought about it, and it's a really interesting situation. I don't know what you want to refer it to, but like on the surface, yes, Ethan, it just makes sense. Give Soto the money, right? But the amount of money that they already have invested into Judge and Stanton and their outfield in general.
And Cole.
Well, that's my thought, right?
Take Cole out of the equation, but just Stanton and Judge.
Yeah.
Soto's going to want a 12-year deal, right? Something like that.
At least. I mean, he's 25. He might want 15 years.
What do we do when he's 38 and Judge is fucking 40 or whatever we're paying him to? Like,
well, Judge will be done by then. He'll be like 44. Yeah.
Okay, so whatever. What Soto's 34 and Judge is 38 or whatever. Like, what do we do? Like, we've got invest in massive amounts of bulk Geritol or something. Like, what do we do?
That's the question.
You pay the fucking. You pay, in my opinion, and I know that we've talked about this a lot, and we've talked about it with my boy Albert Pujols and things like this, because we know that these players tend to decline massively in their 30s. As far as I'm concerned, we pay the fucking age tax, especially in Soto's case. He's 25. This is like unprecedented to be as good as he is, as young as he is, and going into free agency. It's like A-Rod, you do it. Yeah. He has like multiple years of his prime. He has been insanely healthy and durable so far. Even if he falls apart in his 30s, like Mike Trout or Ken Griffey Jr. or Pujols or whatever, we still have 4 or 5 years.
I was going to say 6 years of it is worth it, right?
Of an inner circle fucking Hall of Famer. You do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would be inclined to say bite the bullet. I mean, that may sound a little homerish or a little apologist to some of the Stanton haters, but bite the bullet, eat the contract, trade him, like pay the money to trade him, and that doesn't really satisfy the whole financial situation at all anyway, because you're still paying 3 players over $300 million, and most likely over $400 million for 2 of them. But it's like you get rid of Stanton. Okay, so that opens up a slot, and then you just kind of maybe play it out like how things went with A-Rod, right, where he had a lot of serviceable seasons on that second deal that he got with the Yanks.
Yeah.
And everything, but they ended up cutting bait a little bit early, and that may happen with Judge, the way his body is and the position he's playing fucking center field.
Yeah, they got to take him out of center. Did you listen to the most recent podcast call? They were talking about that. Yeah, we got to get him out of center. Yeah, and everything. But it's just so crazy that you can get so quickly into a position like that where they were so desperate for Judge. Like he was the only good player that they had. And coming off an MVP season, and Matt, like you and I have said this quote 1,000 times on this podcast and in general, like if you have the reigning MVP or you have a chance to get the MVP, the reigning MVP, you get him.
Well, I still that's the quote you told me when I was like, contract. Yeah. But I also I can't argue too much against it, right? Like,
right. And I'm just saying we say that a lot, and like that was legitimately part of the equation and everything. And it's only 2 seasons. Like it's not that long, and that could be 2 seasons from now, a lot's going to change again, and maybe this whole conversation that we're having is moot and doesn't even make sense, and we're like, what the fuck were we worried about and everything. But it's just so wild that so much of the payroll could be tied up in those 3 guys, and of course, again, Ethan, to your point, that doesn't include Cole.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like,
true.
okay,
I mean,
what do you do with the like? Do you let Glaber walk? Because
right.
that
Yes.
seems likely.
Right, that's true. You're
Trade
right,
him.
because like so Judge is at what, 40 million a year, at least if you average it out, it's 40 million a year.
Yeah, I
Stanton
think
is in
so.
the 30s. Soto will be in the 40s or maybe even 50, who knows. And so you're talking about well over 100 million probably per year on three guys. So
You're
like
talking
I get
about
it.
3 Oakland Athletics
All in the outfield.
teams.
Yeah, right.
Right, and all in the outfield. So I understand that, but
Yeah.
it's also the Yankees. Like we could look this up. We can see what their revenue has been the last few years. They're making money.
But we know that it doesn't matter though when you're talking about the luxury tax. And like I'm not saying that as a
True.
cop out. I'm not
The
saying that
luxury
as a
tax
cop
is
out. I'm just
bad.
saying
No, I
it's a
get it.
legitimate thing that has kept them at bay for the last 24 seasons now.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a real thing. It's a soft cap, whether people want to admit that or not, or they just want to see the revenue numbers. Like, I want them to spend more money too, but
Yeah. No, you're
that's
right.
just
It's a
not how
cap.
baseball's set up.
Absolutely.
Well,
But like, okay,
so
but just
remember,
imagine.
like,
Yeah. No,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
You.
Okay. Just all I'm saying is, imagine it's like December of 2024 or January of 2025, and Juan Soto signs with the Mets or whoever the fuck else can pony up enough money. I would just be so disappointed. I mean, it would, that's putting it mildly. Like, I get all the financial considerations. I get that. But like, I don't know. If we want to win a ring or multiple rings, I think you sign Soto. I think that I think that ups your probability by a lot. And I think also the Yankees, even with the luxury tax, if they finally win a fucking another ring, let alone more than one over the next few years, yeah, even with luxury tax, they're going to make a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
but I take your point. I mean, 100%. But Soto is so goddamn good. And I mean, like you said, to be fair, like you said, it hasn't been that many games, but I'm already just in love with him. And he clearly loves playing in New York, and the fans love him. Like, to me, it's just a no-brainer. This is a guy who should be a Yankee for the rest of his life. And they should do whatever they need to do to make it happen.
Remember, G is only here for 3 more years.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
In 2 years...
2027, yeah.
In 2 years, the Miami money starts kicking in. So he becomes very movable.
Expendable, yeah.
Yep.
Not next year, but the following year.
Yeah.
And maybe he continues. Like, I mean, he's back to, at least. Remember we said I'd take a 120 OPS plus. Like, his on base percentage is still below 300, but he's slugging enough that his OPS
getting
plus
us
is
some
above
homers.
120. Yeah.
Exactly right.
He still looks like, he's got glue in his shoes when he runs. But
yeah. The other thing, by the way, though, talking about having all that money tied up in the outfield, the other thing is, I love Rizzo, but maybe you let Rizzo go and you have Judge or Stanton play first and one of them DH.
I was just thinking that. Can we do a Harper?
Do a Harper.
Rizzo's got a buyout next year. So do we just buy him out and say, Judge, you're playing first?
Yeah, and like, I would be sad. I love Rizzo, and I would also be sad to see Glaber go. You guys know I've been his big defender, but like,
I love Glaber.
We got if we need to let Glaber go in order to get Soto, then we do it. It would bum me out though because those guys apparently are like really tight. I think we were texting about that.
Yeah.
So like that would make me sad. But like if that's what has to happen to keep Soto, then you do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, and like I think the most interesting part of all of this. And this is, I think this is uniquely a Yankee, Dodger, maybe just Yankees and Dodgers, honestly, thing where the money is just spent in gobs all the time and everything. And I'm like, what really needs to happen to like get the true sustainable success where you're not like, so worried about payroll every single year because of the soft cap is you need something like the Orioles to happen. And like I'm not saying like you need a hit on the insane rate that they
draft,
did with draft picks, but
Lightning
you need those young players to be serviceable, like the Yankees dynasty teams were like Jeter and Mo and Pettit and all those guys. They were making league minimum, arbitration years like that, they weren't making their big bucks until after the dynasty ended. So they could invest in, these pieces here and there and just say like, fuck it, we'll eat that salary and bring David Justice over, or we'll bring Cecil Fielder over and everything. And it gives you a little bit more flexibility. And that's where like I'm always, I pause, I think is the right word, where I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm in total agreement. I think it's a no-brainer to get Soto. But I just don't know what the path is for them to stay to keep the sustainability to stay competitive.
That's fair.
Like I don't know. Like you can't just I just don't know that you can get lucky with like piecing together the pitching staff the way that they have this season and everything. I don't know, maybe you can. Maybe that's how arms work, these days, with the sport and everything. But I'm like, and it's not that their farm system has been bad, right? Like, I mean, Volpe and Judge and and
hopefully Dominguez,
they have, they've had people come up and be really good and everything. But that's, I think, why when you really sit down and think about it, the economics of baseball is why it's so difficult to win the World Series. Because it's just like people just want to put it in a vacuum and say like, oh, just do this and do that. And they do that in every sport, right? Like they're like, okay, make this crazy trade for that person. That makes a lot of sense, and everything. And it makes no sense, at the end of the day. But, baseball, because you can't really just like Soto alone cannot win the World Series for the Yankees. Patrick Mahomes alone, I was going to say Jokic, but they just got bounced. A LeBron in his prime, those guys alone can really carry a team.
Yeah.
You know who else
much
can?
further.
Shannon Sharp, because he puts the team on his back. Sorry, I had to. Yeah. No, and baseball, right? Like in an average game, your most impactful hitter is going to get 4 plate appearances. So it's tough.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's a good point.
If you're equating it to like the amount of opportunities, like 4 opportunities in a game might equate to 7 targets in a game for a wide receiver, or something like that. I don't know, but we just know that Juan Soto alone cannot win the World Series for the Yankees, and you see this just with all the teams. It's like you sometimes you just scratch your head, like what is the distribution of the money going to this and that and everything, and it's supposed to be difficult, I think, is the conclusion. They set it up this way to make it so that the Yankees couldn't run away with it, or the Dodgers, or teams that were going to spend gobs of money every single year can't just run away with it. And so not only is it really difficult for the teams that do spend money, but it is still difficult for the teams that don't. And I'm not giving any excuses to the fucking Rays or to the Athletics or any of those teams. They can eat shit, all day.
Of course.
But it is so difficult in baseball. Like the economics of baseball are so complicated and difficult. They look really simple when you just look at it because it's like, oh, no salary cap. But it's very difficult.
They can eat shit, but I would take 5 Rays teams over 5 Athletics teams. Like, the Rays are trying. The A's are not.
I mean, they're trying to manipulate. They at least are like smart in how they are working within the system, but they still should spend money.
Yeah. But like the A's are doing it with the purpose of leaving town.
Oh yeah, no, the A's. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the A's have been doing under John Fisher is just like gross.
Like the A's, the A's are this far away from the Cleveland Indians in Major League, right? That's not a joke.
True.
Like that's
a good point.
I mean, John Fisher might as well be. I can't remember her name, but and heiress who's angry at her ex, whatever.
Just
Yeah.
wants to move to Miami.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
like, yeah, Miami, Las Vegas, right? Like, like, yeah.
Yep. No, that's true. That is true. But
And you
anyways.
can't just be mad at the Rays because they seem to beat the Yankees a lot. Like,
yeah. And I mean, I do feel bad for them. They did finally give out one big contract, and then it ended up,
yeah.
Wander
Well,
Franco.
I give them this for that. So,
So
I don't feel bad for them at all.
yeah, maybe hire an investigator there, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, of course. But you know what? I mean, if the thing that's crazy though is like, think about Shohei and Ippei. Like people can be sneaky.
Yeah, but guess what? Tampa is the home of Scientology. There's a lot of great private investigators there who love digging into people's personal shit. Come on, like you walk like 5 feet, you run into someone who's hired by the Church of Scientology to follow. I can't even remember the term for bad people in the church.
That's funny though. I saw something in the news about that the other day. There was something about like Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' daughter, and it's like pretty fucked up. It's like pretty scary. Some of the shit that that church apparently pulls.
A suppressive person. Oh yeah, lots of you read up more, Ethan. Like
yeah,
they're bad.
Yeah,
suppressive person. Yeah,
suppressive person.
Yeah,
that's their official term. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like the South Park episode did with Chef. It's he got brainwashed by that fruity little club, and the only thing to do is to write a cartoon where the person falls into a ravine and gets eaten by a fucking mountain lion or whatever, and then you just move on.
Where's Shelley, Dave Miscavige? Where's Shelley?
Oh, that's right.
Where is she?
That shit is like really fucking weird.
Yeah, they think she's in some like mountain house in Oregon in the middle of nowhere. But
yeah, I mean, if she wanted to be off the grid, then good for her, I guess. But if it was her choice,
yeah, you know why that Chef episode, right? Like he got so upset at the other.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, you're misrepresenting it. Don't do this." And Trey and Matt, rightfully, as far as I'm concerned, said, "Hey, you were fine when we made fun of every other fucking religion and belief system, and now we do yours, and you're gonna be all fucking high and mighty about it." Like, yeah.
We'll make an episode with clips of your previous work.
Yep, exactly.
Hello, children.
What's my favorite one? He says like, "I want to make love to your asshole, children." Like the way they plug it, like because they throw in asshole randomly, That episode, that's a genius episode. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. But anyways. Well, we covered some good shit today. We talked about Trampled. We talked about fucking Scientology. I didn't expect either of those topics. I like it.
Yeah.
What shout outs you guys got to close us out?
Oh shit, man. I'm not ready for this episode to be over. This was a good one.
Yeah. But it is already kind of getting a little late for you guys.
Shout out to Jeremy and subsidized commission studio time. I don't know.
There you go.
Jeremy, I hope to see you sometime soon. I hope I can, make up to Vermont one of these days and hang out with you.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Go take me to the tastiest restaurant in Burlington or something like that.
He will take you to Pho Hong. You like pho, right, Matt?
I've only had pho once.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, then if you go to Burlington, you have to go to Pho Hong. It's amazing.
Like I went to a pho restaurant all the time in Cleveland, but I would get pad see ew. They made a mean pad see ew.
So. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
And and their scallion pancakes. Mwah. Oh,
love scallion pancakes.
Yeah.
A good pho is like one of the best meals ever, and this place in Burlington is so good. I guarantee that's like probably the first restaurant. When you said that, when Jeremy's listening tomorrow, I bet you he will think Pho Hong.
Yeah, but see what and again, this is unfair, but one of my favorite comedians describes pho as what you get when a former child soldier pours hot rainwater over fish nightmares, and then he said, and it's delicious, and I can't stop eating it. So that's how he describes pho. He goes in a whole rant about how he's going to pronounce it pho because he wants to.
Because he wants to.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't think there's anyone in Vietnam saying that they're pronouncing meatball sandwich wrong. So I'm going to pronounce it pho, and I'm going to buy as much of it as I can, and I'm going to tell you guys all to buy it because it's delicious, and you should go support your local pho restaurant. I don't care if you want to say it's pronounced pho. Like, yeah. Anyway, shout out to Sam. Speaking of scallion pancakes, she made some vegetable fritters tonight that were very, very tasty.
Yummy.
We're in week 4 of our local produce farm share, so we've just got vegetables out the wazoo. So she's like, "Well, fuck it, cut it up. We're gonna make fritters." So she made giant veggie fritters. I think they were like peppers and cabbage and all sorts of stuff, onions. We had Japanese sweet potatoes.
That came in the box?
No. We bought those, but all the veggies in the box. And indeed, it's fun because like support your local community supported agriculture groups, people. We've got this week's box. Like we've got like dandelion greens, which I know like they're bitter and hard to eat, but like we're gonna figure out something to do with them. Like you get all sorts of neat, fun shit. Last year we got lemon cucumbers. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a lemon cucumber. It's a cucumber that looks like a lemon.
Oh wow, never heard of
that.
That's cool.
Someone grew this. Let's figure it out. That's half the fun of a CSA box when you're paying like vegetable roulette every week. Like, what are we gonna get this time? Oh shit, rhubarb for the 3rd week in a row. All right, we're gonna figure it out. Like, anyway,
nice. I'm gonna shout out a. Part of my job at CSU is I'm the instrument curator, and I have to help kind of facilitate instrument maintenance, and so bringing stuff to repair shops and things like this. And it turns out that I brought a few instruments down to a repair guy in Longmont, which is like 40 minutes southwest of Fort Collins, and I brought some instruments to this guy, and we had emailed before, but we hadn't met in person. Turns out he's from Rochester, which is hilarious, small world, and he's like a respected brass and woodwind repair person now. But his original instrument is heavy metal lead guitar. And so we like talked a bunch about music and metal music, and I mentioned to my brother and all of this, and he was just like a super cool guy. We talked about like upstate New York, and it was really fun. It was cool. I've actually met, since I moved here, I've met like several people with upstate New York connections, which I did not expect. I mean, Colorado is full of like transients, of people who have, or transplants, I should say, people who have moved here from elsewhere, but it's like a lot of Californians and Texans, like I did not expect upstate New Yorkers to be here so much, but it was really fun. It was kind of cool he was wearing a Bills shirt. Actually, he was wearing a Buffalo Bills shirt. And I was like, okay, what's the story with that? Yeah, I know. But still, just, that was still kind of fun. That was unexpected. He was a really cool guy. Yeah.
Nice.
Not everyone's perfect, Colin. Some people are Bills fans. Some people are Nittany Lions fans.
I'm not perfect either. It's cool. I'll give a shout out to Baby Cole. If anyone was watching the Yankee telecast today, they always feature but they always feature Yankee fans. And today was a little baby in a onesie. It was like the cutest looking baby in the world, and his name was Cole. So really cool Yankee fan.
Nice.
And also I'll give a shout out to Coach Kuberka. Melissa, you are an inspiration. She took a new job at RIT. She's the women's basketball coach now at RIT, moving on from St. John Fisher. So congrats on that, Melissa. And I know you're going to kill it as you usually do. So I'll give my last shout out to her.
Sweet.
All right.
We did it.
Why you got the mic right up to you?
Where's Shelly? Where's Shelly, David? Where's Shelly?
Actually, I like the way your voice sounds when you do that, to be honest. And especially when you say conspiratorial things.
Ooh. I need to start doing more of this then.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. All right, boys. We are. See you on Sunday, Matt.